Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am now back home from Indianapolis. I'm now back home from my Royal Rumble 2025 trip, and this is my trip experience. So this trip experience video is brought to you guys by SeatGeek. So if you guys are looking for tickets for any event in the entire world, get them through SeatGeek. Use my last name, code HOT, to check out as your promo code. And you guys are gonna get $20 off your tickets. This is for first time orders only. So if you used it before, make a new account. You can still use the code and get $20 off if you get any ticket for any event in the entire world. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are back here. We're back here in Orlando, Florida, right here in my studio here at my house. So basically, if you guys did not see the vlogs, first off, I would say check out the vlogs, because I did two different vlogs. I did one vlog where we did like a whole adventure, and then we flew to Indianapolis. We went to the Superstore. That was like vlog 1. If you didn't see that one, check that out. But vlog number 2, of course, probably more people saw than the first one. The second vlog was the Royal Rumble show vlog, where I was kind of going around the city of Indianapolis before the show, and then I went to the show and had a wonderful time there. So 2 new vlogs, 2 new experiences going to the shows and the Superstore and all that stuff through the lens of this camera up on the channel now. So if you haven't seen those vlogs, definitely check it out after you watch this video, of course. So ultimately, we can talk about everything here. We're gonna talk about Indianapolis, what I thought of the city, what I experienced in the city, what I did, how the trip went, what went right, pretty much anything that might have went wrong, which wasn't too much, and also my tickets, how much I paid for my tickets, what tickets I were able to get, and all that kind of stuff. So that and more, and just stay tuned here, let's talk about it. It was a very short trip, as I said in the trip plans video. So I left Friday, I came back Sunday. Why in the heck would I do Friday to Sunday for an entire trip? Because I'm in school and I have class and I have to be back for Monday classes. So basically that's the reason why. So yeah, it actually went off really, really well. So my Friday flight wasn't until late. Early Friday, of course, I went to Universal Studios, as you guys saw in the vlog, and then that night we flew to Indianapolis, went to the Superstore, had a great time, had to get a nice little sleep after that, after, of course, editing the vlog and staying up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, like pretty much every night, to edit the vlogs to get them up in time. Because that vlog in specific had to be up like really early during the day, because Royal Rumble was that day, and I want you guys to have an opportunity to watch it before the Royal Rumble. So yeah, I kind of had to do that one, go up super early. So I was up super late editing that thing. So hopefully you guys really enjoy the vlogs, because my sleep deprivation is caused by the editing of the vlogs. I'm not complaining, I'll never complain. I like editing, I like producing, bringing a creative person and making things. But yeah, I was up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, I think, on the first night I was there, and then like the Rumble day, like after the show, I don't think I got in from the show until like 12:30, and then I was up to like 4 a.m. editing the vlog. So it was like insanely very hard. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed those videos, because I worked very hard filming them all day, and then after I was filming them all day, I got to edit them pretty much all night and not sleep. But yeah, that was fun. But ultimately, move on to the next day, of course, pick up where we were Saturday, the day of the show. So I woke up early there, had to cook myself a breakfast. Of course, I was staying with my dad, which worked out great, because my dad actually works in Indianapolis and has like a place in Indianapolis, apartment there, that worked out perfectly. So I was able to actually cook my own breakfast there, which normally you can't do when you're traveling, because you're like in a hotel. You have to go go find breakfast somewhere and like pay a fortune at like a restaurant you don't even know, or like deal with like fast food and probably getting sick from that. So ultimately, it was very nice to be able to cook my own breakfast there at my dad's apartment. So that was great. And then we moved on. After breakfast, I got to head out into Indianapolis. So I wanted to explore a little bit, of course, before we went to the Royal Rumble. And also, in the process of all this, I do not have my tickets yet. Like, I literally went all the way to Indianapolis, not having my tickets, not knowing where I was sitting, not knowing if I was even gonna get into the freaking show. But ultimately, I'm checking those tickets like every 30 minutes or something, seeing if there's like any decent deals, because of course, WWE pricing are not what they used to be. It was ridiculous. I think when the Royal Rumble tickets first went on sale, they were like $4,000 per person, per ticket, to sit on the floor. And then the cheapest in the whole entire stadium was like over $200. And this is like not a small place. This is a giant NFL football stadium. Like, these stadiums are not built and designed to watch wrestling matches happening in this little tiny square 20-foot circle in the middle of the stadium. Like, it's a giant area. So you definitely don't want to cheap out and sit at the very top if you can help it. So I definitely did not. I definitely did want to help it. I definitely wanted to kind of wait for prices to drop or like something new to come up. So I kind of just check in like every 30 minutes to see what was it. And this was all happening literally like the day of the show. So ultimately, I go downtown Indianapolis. I don't know what to do downtown Indianapolis. I don't know much about Indianapolis at all, because I only went to Indianapolis one time before, and that was when I was 15 years old, and I believe that was for Night of Champions pay-per-view or Clash of Champions, whatever it was called back then, like 2015 or something like that maybe. Maybe it was 2016, but I hadn't been there in like 10 years, so I didn't know what was really there to do, and even when I was like going there when I was 15 or 16, I wasn't really exploring that much. I was kind of just like driving in from Chicago, and then on the way I stopped there, kind of went to the show, so it wasn't like I really knew anything about Indianapolis. So yeah, with that being said, I went downtown to the side where the Lucas Oil Stadium is, and I guess on that side of Indianapolis, it's kind of outdated or older, or they're like, there's a lot of things like closed because they're renovating it, and a lot of things closed because they just basically went out of business. So we're kind of just walking around trying to see things to do, and one of the nice things, it looks like Indianapolis has a lot of outside things to do, right? A lot of outside attractions. One of those, of course, that we went to in like the beginning of the intro of the vlog was like the White Rivers State Park, where like the canal is and all that. It was very beautiful, but I gotta say, it was very, very cold. And you know, Road Rumble, I feel like always takes place in a warm climate. This year it did not. It was like 30 degrees the day of the show. I was freezing because I was literally coming from Florida, being outside all day the previous day in the sun, being like 80 degrees, and then just have the shock of it being like 30 and windy and cold and like, yeah, I can't do this. So basically, most of the outdoor attractions are closed that time of year anyway. So I walked through there, I saw the half-frozen like little canal and half-frozen river. I was like, I gotta go inside. So what I'm gonna do, so we'll go through the convention center. Can't go in the Superstore because the crowd is insane because they're doing autograph signings in there. So that's a no-go. What other indoor attractions are near the stadium? The only thing I could come up with was the mall that was kind of attached to everything there. It turned out the mall was pretty much like shut down and like halfway abandoned, and it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, basically they had good views out their giant windows and things like that, but there was only like 2 stores in the entire mall. And then they said there was a movie theater in the mall, and I'm like, oh, we can kill some time and watch a movie. So let's go to the movie theater. And then it turns out the movie theater is out of business, has been shut down. It's like, oh, what are we gonna do? Okay, let's go to a sit-down restaurant and kill some time eating some lunch. So they look up restaurants. It's like, oh, look out the window. That looks like a nice place right there. And then you look a little closer, and there's like bars on the window, and it's like shut off, and it's out of business as well. It's like, what's happened to this place? I feel like I'm in like Walking Dead right now or something. Everything's just shut down. But ultimately in the mall, there actually was a few restaurants left, and we ended up going to P.F. Chang's. So that's why that shot was with like the Asian food you guys saw. Actually a very, very nice establishment, and had a very, very long wait time because everyone was wanting to be there that day because there wasn't that many food options, I guess, near the stadium or whatever that were like still in business. But ultimately that was good, and that killed a lot of time because they were very, very slow. So that killed like 3 hours of the wait time. And then after that, it's literally like an hour before the show. So I definitely need tickets for the show because I was getting ready to go to the stadium. I'm like, they're not gonna let me in. I don't have my ticket. So I'm looking everywhere I can, all the platforms. You go over to the SeatGeek, of course, code HODGE saves $20. I was thinking about that. I was looking over at Ticketmaster, which is like attached to the box office, which the fees are insane, and we need to talk about those fees for a moment. And then I was looking at all the platforms I could literally come up with. But ultimately, box office, Ticketmaster fees, I do want to make a little point about that. What the heck has happened with the Ticketmaster fees? Like, honestly, like, I don't know, because they were having like floor for like $1,500, right? And then by the time the fees were added on, it was $2,100. Now, I thought they passed a law where you guys have to be upfront about the fees, because you guys are not doing that. You are not following that. So it was bad, right? So what I ended up finding was like last row on the floor. They added it like last minute. They wanted them gone. $200. So $200 is great. But the only thing is, the Ticketmaster fees is insane. And those tickets, I believe, ended up being about $320 a ticket by the time the fees were added on. So they advertise it, hey, we have last row of floor, which, you know, is kind of like not really a good seat at all, but at least you're not like at the very top of the stadium or whatever. But then it says $200, you click it, you add it to the cart, and it's like, that'll be $320. I mean, $320? You just told me it was $200. Like, those fees are just ridiculous. But ultimately, that's what I ended up with. The view looked like this. It looked absolutely amazing for the price. I could advertise that this was a $200 seat, but I can't realistically do that to you guys. I'm gonna say it's about a $300 ticket. It's about a $300 ticket looked for the Royal Rumble this year. You definitely could get closer if you were willing to spend more, like $900 to maybe like $2,000, $3,000 a ticket. I guess the really close floor was $3,000 with fees. So I ended up going with the $300 ticket because it was still on the floor. It was far back, but it wasn't like way up on the football stadium where you couldn't see anything at all. And I gotta say, if you're shorter, you're definitely not gonna be able to see anything. Like, I'm 6'3", so I was actually able to see over most people because I'm taller than most people. And I was able to see the ring a fair bit, but the big screen definitely helped and was the majority of the viewing point for the show. But ultimately, I gotta say, I was happy. I was happy with the price I paid. I was happy with the show quality I received for my amount of money I spent, and I'm honestly glad I didn't spend more money on the show, because I was expecting a few more surprises in the Rumbles, but every year can't be like the biggest surprises ever, and most people I want to like return to be a huge surprise or like signed in other wrestling companies, and it would be impossible for that to happen. But nonetheless, got me a new jersey to add to the collection, because I collect these jerseys if you guys do not know. Let me give you guys the full tour of the jersey. So you got the Royal Rumble 2025, Royal Rumble Indianapolis, little patch going on here. You got WWE logo here. You got these lines here, which are like the Indianapolis Colts, because this, of course, the show was in the Indianapolis Colts Stadium, and this is like the replica of that jersey. And at the bottom, kind of out of shot now, it's got a patch that says Royal Rumble Indianapolis 2025 official WWE authentic. And then on the back, looks like this. So hopefully you guys can read that, because I can't read that because that is behind me. But nonetheless, this is the only merch item I was actually able to get. So like I said, I flew in Friday night very late. So I decided to go to the Superstore Friday night very late. And basically they only had like one of these jerseys in this size left. And this is not my size. Normally I wear like a large, to get really personal with you guys. I normally wear a large shirt, right? In large jerseys, and they did not have large left. They had medium, 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 medium. Go down the whole rack, like 100 mediums is all they had. And then there was one extra large, and it's this one, which is like a size up, which kind of fits me good, because I don't want to be suffocated by my jersey getting the medium, because these things are not stretchy at all. They're like very, very suffocating if you do not get the right size. But ultimately, it worked out. I got an extra large. This is the only last one that was there, and I noticed like it was so hard to get merch. I gotta go on a little rant here, because apparently for this Royal Rumble, this is the first time I've seen this at one of the large shows, there was like a merch shortage. I'm gonna call it a merch shortage. They did not have enough merch. So basically, I got this and I'm happy about that, but there were several other things at the Superstore I was wanting, like the John Cena shirt, maybe an event shirt of any kind. And yeah, they did not have it. So as you guys saw, Serenity, my girlfriend, got the John Cena shirt. She was able to get that because she wears a kid size. They had plenty of kid size options. So that absolutely worked out great for her. But as far as me, all they had left were smalls in like every shirt. No John Cena Indianapolis shirt for this guy. No Royal Rumble event shirt for this guy. No Indianapolis Royal Rumble little skyline shirt. No poster shirt. No nothing. I mean, they didn't have my size in the jersey left. I'm talking this on Friday night. I went back there on like Saturday to look around. They had nothing on the shelves. Like all those smalls I was telling you guys about were gone. Everything gone. I don't know what happened. I went to the stadium store, I went to the Superstore, I went to 3 merch stands inside the stadium. All they had were like smalls, and some of them had maybe some mediums in the shirts, but the rest of the size is completely gone. There was absolutely a shortage, and I mean, they did not want to have any merch whatsoever like left over, and they sold out so fast. So ultimately, my main advice, if you're wanting to go to the show, you want to have all the merch options, you definitely are going to have to go like early the day before the show, or even like as soon as the Superstore opens on like the Thursday or whatever, because I went Friday night and they were like almost sold out of everything. I wasn't even going to go Friday night. It was just kind of like a last minute decision. I was going to go Saturday, and I'm glad I didn't wait, because I would have got my jersey. And of course, I was complaining like the whole Canada trip, how they did a Money in the Bank, jersey of a limited run of hockey jerseys, and they were completely sold out because I didn't show up till Saturday, the day of the show, for that one, and they didn't have my jerseys. That's my little rant about merchandising. So ultimately, guys, that was my trip. I mean, the only negative I can say is I didn't get all the merch I wanted, but in the other sense, that's kind of a positive, because I didn't spend too much money, because this jersey was already $100. I always like to be transparent with you guys. The jerseys at the show are $100. The t-shirts are $40. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. But at least I was able to limit myself, because that's all they had available. So it's kind of a good and a bad on the whole merch thing. But other than that, the show, I enjoyed the show. I wish there was kind of some different things happening in the show. As you guys saw in the vlog, I was going for John Cena. I was all like Cena fanned out for that. But ultimately, Jey Uso's got his moment, and that's good. That's what the Rumble's about, is making new stars and making new matches and unpredictability and stuff like that. So I get why they did what they did. But ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, that was my trip experience. I get 2 thumbs up. I can't think of a better way to spend a weekend, a little weekend, getaway, than flying up to Indianapolis, going to the show, and flying right back. That is a hell of a weekend. 2 thumbs up. If you guys haven't seen both vlogs, definitely go check those out. And let me know what you thought of the vlogs and what you thought of the Rumble and all of that in the comment section down below. But thanks for watching so much, guys. I'm Brandon Hodge, your one and only king of vlog style, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.